Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday Night is Overbooked on Unbearable 73. That's my channel and host also on Joker Voice's channel, The Joker's Voice. Tonight we have Matt of the Fracked Up Back, which is pretty much the summary of my life for the past week. Left Eye or Right Eye Ego, we'll find out during the show. And Hurricane Brad himself, who overpowered the hurricane, chokeslammed it back into the ocean. And now here's our MC, our master ceremony, Joker's Voice. Who apparently lost.
Hello, are we still here?
You got it.
Yep, you got it, Joker. On you know.
Give me a few seconds. Hey, hang on just a second. Hang on. We may have to do this the other way. Hang on.
These technical difficulties are being brought to you by. Oh man. So not to I don't want to go too personal about while waiting for Joker. You guys, since the audience will be concerned, you okay? The hurricane, you recovered from the hurricane, your family's okay and all?
Yeah, everyone's okay. Hold on. I can't book anything in Italian. Yeah, we evacuated. I got my parents to evacuate as well. So we were all near Orlando for a few days. I came back on Saturday and had power back. That was amazing. I couldn't believe we had power. Didn't get internet back to literally last night at 7:00, which is problematic when your significant other works from home. So, but I mean, we took my area in Florida, the West Coast, the Tampa Bay area, took some pretty bad hits from 2 hurricanes. We were lucky in the sense that we did not get smacked with the Category 3 storm surge that they got down south of us. But a lot of people I know still are displaced from Helene. I've donated to Red Cross. You good?
You good, Joker?
Go on.
If anyone's actually looking to donate to,
I have to adjust.
If anyone's actually looking to donate to anything for like us in Florida or the people in North Carolina, I'd go with the Red Cross. It's probably one of the more reputable ones to go with. I think I already gave like $100 or so up for North Carolina. Yeah. But yeah, those are two nasty hurricanes. I've lived in Florida over 30 years, and it was 20 years ago that we had back and forth. We had Charlie, we had Florence. It was just like 4 hurricanes over a period of time. It was really bad. So everyone in my family's home and safe, minor damage. Our neighborhood is back up and running. So it's as best as can be.
Okay. You good, Joker?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes.
All righty. Give me 1 second.
While Joker's getting ready, in the chat, we have Dempsey, who's a musician. You should check his channel out. He has some cool stuff there. We have Blair to Blair, one of the man of many beards, friend of ours. And I saw someone else. Jacob. Hey, Jacob.
Jacob Ironside.
Hey, welcome, Dave.
The meme master. Okay, so I have home internet issues. Before we get started, as you notice, there is one person missing here. Life happens, and Ryan was just not able to give the show the energy he thought it deserved, so we have agreed to part ways as of the right now. Ryan will always be a founding member of the show and will always be remembered as a founding member of the show. And I speak for myself and everyone else here. We wish Ryan the absolute best going forward. And now, with that being said, we had a PLE not too long ago called Bad Blood. And we had some announcements and stuff that has now bled over into regular WWE TV. Most notably, announcements for the next premium live event in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia we're looking forward to Crown Jewel. So we have two matches that have already been announced. This is going to be champion versus champion for both the men and the women. Now, myself personally, I hate this concept. Absolutely hate it. This reminds me of the old Survivor Series where it was brand supremacy. But the problem with that was Vince McMahon would have the WWE draft in October to go right into Survivor Series. And so then you had these people who had been on Raw who then went to SmackDown and they said, "Oh, I bleed blue." And I'm like, "Bitch, you've been here for 4 weeks. Be quiet."
Now, is this the one with the greatest Royal Rumble?
This was the Crown Jewel, is where this has been the main Saudi show, or as it's been called by some folks, Saudi Mania. So, and this is where they had the greatest Royal Rumble ever, where they gave Braun Strowman the green title belt that's never been seen again on TV.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So on the men's side, a match which on paper should be really good, but there's no title at stake. They're playing for this big, giant monstrosity of a belt, which they made
beautiful belt.
Which they made sure to tell you.
Don't do that.
Which they made sure to tell you, and they've mentioned it numerous times, that there is 50 carats of diamonds in this belt. I guarantee the WWE did not pay for this belt. No.
Where could that money have come from?
This is basically the House of Saud, which is like the royal family's name.
Yeah.
Paying for their private wrestling show to the broadcast of the world.
Right. Basically. And also, side note, on that greatest Royal Rumble ever, the Saudi prince at the time asked the WWE if he could have one of his favorites participate in that Rumble, and that was Yokozuna, who had died 18 years previous.
I would say, wasn't he dead for a long time by that point?
Well, if Vince had full control, they could just drop him off of a skylift to the ring.
They might have been
reanimate his corpse.
Yeah.
So we have Gunther versus Cody Rhodes. Now, the only thing that makes this interesting is possible shenanigans, but this is not going to be a shenanigan. This is not going to be a match where shenanigans result in a countout or a disqualification. A champion is going to have to lose, and they're gonna be pinned, which sucks.
I agree with you. Storyline is horrible, Joker. I totally agree with that. The only good thing about this match is, since we're in the Triple H era and Vince is not screaming like instructions to the wrestlers in the ring anymore, right? Mm-hmm. Cody and Gunther may pull out their full repertoire for this, so I'm actually see a very spectacular match, as opposed to as opposed to just a standard WWE hit the same moves over and over again, same ring dives over and over again,
Right. So
I did get to see some of the stuff today. Today I got to watch some of the highlights from Raw and SmackDown, and I saw the promo between Gunther and Cody, and I'm just like, it's like,
I love Gunther though. Gunther though.
Yeah, but it's just like, it literally is just like, we're doing this so the Prince of Saudi Arabia can play with his WrestleMania figures.
Yes.
I mean, Gunther,
it's like, I'm gonna take my toys and I'm gonna take them and then fight them against my Gary plushie there. That's my fantasy match for some reason, because I make all the oil for the entire planet.
Basically,
that's hilarious.
Gunther, depending upon the health and age of AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Kevin Owens, is arguably the best in-ring wrestler they have right now.
Absolutely. And Cody can put on a banger match. So, I mean, we've seen that in the past. So, the one thing I don't want to see, and it may happen because that bad blood, he got involved, and we may see Goldberg, which might make him happy. But
Oh, that could
Would-
really
Well, that
happen
was a
from
whole.
this-
I don't know if you saw the side stuff, but there was a whole bunch of legends in the audience there.
Right.
That was a work shoot, so to speak, and to get
Well,
more,
yes,
yeah.
but Goldberg has always said that he wanted one last match, and I find it interesting as he has he blamed that he was very critical of Paul Levesque, saying that he intentionally gave, or as Goldberg said, Asuka a longer the winning streak than him to negate his undefeated streak and let everyone use the spear to undermine him. So that's fun.
I have a question to ask y'all. What do you think in your mind is worse? Cody having to take a pin, Gunther having to take a pin, or either one of them having to get pinned by Goldberg?
Goldberg is not going to pin anyone. This may be a distract. This may be a distraction angle with maybe Kevin Owens as well.
They'll do
For me
this.
personally,
I was going to say they'll use Goldberg or whoever as a sort of like a way to have some interference on both sides. So now the guy looks weak by losing, so to speak.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So if I was on paper, Gunther should win.
Okay.
Because I just feel like Gunther is the better in-ring wrestler. And frankly, this match, I'm not really interested in this match. The women's match, however, that is interesting. Now, on its face, you might be like, you got Liv Morgan and Nia Jax. Well, that's a heel versus a heel. That's not very interesting. But the fact that you've got Miss Money in the Bank lurking somewhere, and we are much closer to the cash-in than we were to when she won Money in the Bank. So, because if Tiffany could cash in on anyone who falls, she could cash in on Liv. If Liv loses, she could cash in on Nia if Nia loses. Or if she cashes in during the match, making it a triple threat, even though the match started with a champion versus champion, no titles on the line, if Tiffany Stratton cashes in, making it a triple threat, both titles now become active.
I was going to say, does she win both titles if you were to win?
If she pinned it, like if she stacked them and pinned them, sure.
Whoever gets
you have
pinned-
to actually submit or pin to lose
Okay.
the title.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think, and on Raw we saw the teasing of Nia trying to convince Tiffany to cash in on Liv. So they're going to tease this, but ultimately Tiffany is going to cash in on Nia. Well, because that's the only exciting part of the women's division that's on SmackDown.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And as far as Liv goes, this feud ends with Rhea. That's going to end. And hopefully it ends at Saturday night main event. Now,
so it's been what, 3 years now since Rhea has actually beaten Liv in a match?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
correct.
That is
The-
wow.
The last Rhea has been pinned twice in the last 2 years, both by Liv Morgan.
Clean?
Clean.
And on that
Travesty.
issue, by the way, you're going to see more and more of that come up. I think this is one of the things that other wrestling companies are stealing, borrowing from AEW. AEW has always had like, what's your record this year? What's your record against the opponent? Like a real sports thing. That's starting to creep into other stuff. And I think it's a good thing just to add to the storytelling.
I like that too.
Now, we did see something else happen at Bad Blood that is now starting to create some stories. And that is the return of Jimmy Uso.
Mm-hmm.
So now that was the first step to the Bloodline War Games match, which is the inevitable outcome of this. And then we saw Jimmy and Roman get their asses kicked by Solo, the Tongans, and Jacob. God, Jacob's amazing. I'm just saying.
He really is.
Jacob is the best of the bloodline. That includes Roman.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How old is Jacob?
He's in his the 30s. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I don't think we're gonna see Jacob at Crown Jewel because Jacob does have some legit travel issues because he has a record. So that kind of precludes him from going to some countries. But on Raw, Jay is going into his locker room, and there's Jimmy. And Jimmy just says, "Can we talk?" And Jay walks away.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy tries to confront him again, and he says, "No, get out of my face." This is the start of bringing Jay back to the bloodline. Now, Jay does have a Intercontinental Championship match against Braun Breaker on the Monday. Ego, I know you're not gonna like to hear this. I don't see Braun Breaker losing to Jay Uso twice.
You couldn't wait to tell me this terrible news, could you? You held on to this on purpose after I met Jay Uso, guys.
So
you want to see a picture I took with Jay Uso? I'll show it to you. You guys have it in chat? Okay. So I can find. You guys have it, or you want me to show it?
Post it up down there, and I'll show it off.
You got it. Okay.
But I was thinking about the Jay and Jimmy Uso sub storyline. I can see them doing something like having Rikishi come in and say, "Boys, you have to sell us in the ring," type of thing. You know, get a little slow appearance, a little short arc with Jay and Jimmy wrestling it out and then shaking the hand at the end. You know,
or there's someone else from the OG Bloodline story had a short but impactful arc in this. Could we see Sammy being the one to bring Jay over? Maybe it'll take some convincing from Sammy, Cody, Paul Heyman, possibly.
Yeah, when's Paul gonna come back?
well, he's doing real life business stuff.
Oh,
yes, he is.
He's doing what stuff?
Business stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, he's doing.
He isn't just an in-ring manager, like talk manager.
Oh, he really is.
In real life, he manages the wrestlers like as a business manager.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been
he's brought one of Brock's real life business managers.
Wow.
He was at one point for the Undertaker. I don't know if he still is. CM Punk he was for a while. There's a bunch of guys. When you hear like on the interweb somebody called a Heyman guy, they're not talking about guys in the ring. They're talking about.
I thought that's what that meant. He's basically Drew Rosenhaus.
Not quite that big, but he
knows the industry, he knows the players, so he helps them negotiate deals and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah, he was also integral when she was floundering. He got Liv to back up on track.
Wow.
Yeah.
So basically, in the wrestling world, if you're not talking to Paul Heyman or Paul Heyman's not talking to you, you're probably not gonna last that long.
Yeah, of the classic managers, like Jimmy Hart was like that.
Heenan.
No, Heenan didn't do a lot of in-ring. He did behind the scenes work, but he didn't do a lot of managing behind the scenes for wrestlers, except for one or two guys. Classy Freddie Blassie, however, was a big time behind the scenes manager. And who else? That you guys would know. Well, I don't want to sidetrack in like 30-year-old stuff, but it's interesting when you follow these guys over the time. You know what I mean? That who really does what behind the scenes, you know?
Right.
Oh, Fonzie.
So we also
Fonzie, the little guy with Taz, the
yeah.
He's a behind the scenes manager for a lot of guys, including Hulk Hogan.
Wow.
So we also saw the reemergence of the final boss, The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson,
AKA
and
Joe's favorite wrestler.
no, and apparently, Dave Meltzer, in his infinite wisdom, made a report that there were no plans for The Rock to be at WrestleMania 41. To which pretty much the entire IWC said bullshit. And Dwayne Johnson confirmed this on his Instagram when someone asked him, "Are there really no plans for you at WrestleMania?" And Rock just said, "Don't believe any of that shit." So this is also interesting because I guess my question is, based on what happened last year and the debacle that nearly happened, do you see The Rock coming in and actually working an event, however small it may be, like coming to the Rumble and coming in at number 30, dropping a few guys out of the ring, and go on, Matt.
Do you remember my Rumble prediction? The Rock was going to fix the Rumble, so all the Bloodline members came in.
Right.
7 guys, and they're going to
might as well
out of Roman. Yeah,
might as well.
All right,
might as well. I had The Rock. I had The Rock coming in dead last, and since he's kind of in control, it's almost been revealed that he is in control of Solo and his crew.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
And so I had The Rock just kind of showing up, telling Jacob to eliminate everyone and then eliminate himself, letting The Rock win. So that's
I don't think The Rock will win the Rumble.
Well,
not even ignoring all of our predictions for a second. I think I don't think, because we know The Rock's not going to win the belt. It's too predictable. Like, you know what I mean? So they would have to like the person who wins the Rumble, it has to be a realistic story chance that W could actually drop the title on them. You know what I mean?
Well, so, yeah. I agree with that. But then again, Dwayne Johnson also sits on the TKO board, and he's basically got the WWE by the balls. If The Rock wants to do something, The Rock's gonna do it.
I'm seeing what he's working on filming wise right now.
He's probably gonna be doing the
show right now
tour for the Project Red, that Christmas movie he's doing.
That's the Netflix one, I thought.
Yeah, he might be doing a press tour around that time, but I haven't seen anything else after that.
Here's an article from Sporting News. This is back in July. Dwayne Johnson ends movie filming schedule clear for WWE return.
Yeah.
So it looks like he finished something in July, so he may be open to come back.
Project Red.
No. That was that pain machine. Yeah, that pain machine kind of thing.
That's it. Yeah, that Smashing Machine.
Oh, Smashing Machine. That weird movie. Okay.
That's his Oscar bait.
It is not at all. No, that is. He's way too old.
That's an Oscar bait film.
Guys, I mean, you think he's gonna get it, or you think it's gonna put him in the conversation?
No.
Okay.
He'll lose it. He'll lose, and then he'll go back to making crappy comedy films with
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart for Disney.
I will say this: we're gonna have a top 5 best and worst wrestlers turned actors at some point. I need to cleanse.
There's not a lot though.
I know.
There's a lot of failed attempts.
The lower tier guys, you know.
Oh, well, then we'll do top. I'll do top 3 if that's.
I'm sorry.
CM Punk.
Would you guys? By the way, I had this thought. Let's say The Rock had hosted the Oscars instead of Chris Rock when the slap happened. Would you have paid money to see what The Rock would have done to Will Smith on stage?
No.
I think
He
the
wouldn't
same
have
thing would have
flinched.
happened. I think the same thing would have happened.
Oh no. I'm pretty sure. I'm
I
pretty
think
sure
the
you are not going to
same
show
thing
someone
would have
like that up
happened.
in public. You know?
I think the same thing would have happened. I still think the same thing would have happened.
That would have been funny as hell.
That would have made it funny and way worse.
I kind of just think like Dwayne would
The
look at him
whole
like,
audience
"You
of
just
wrestling
hit me?"
would have gone, "What?"
What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Stupid. Dumb. So,
Well, anyway.
so my question, I guess, around the horn here, Ego, I'll start with you. Knowing that Jay Uso is probably going to drop that title to Braun on Monday. Sorry. How do you see Jay getting back to the bloodline?
I would say first of all, I don't think you are sorry about this.
No.
The only way is, the only way he gets back to the bloodline is if he does lose it. I don't know if this means that he feels like he needs to reach out for help, and the bloodline answers, or there might be shenanigans and they try to save him, but he still loses it. The only way I see that him joining it is if he loses it. I don't know what he does solo with the belt until that time, if it does happen, but he'd almost have to lose it to go back to being with the bloodline. That's the only thing I could think of, which sucks for him just getting the belt to lose it. To hold it for 2.5 weeks is ridiculous. I thought we weren't trying to change the championship like this willy-nilly, and then he has it for 2 weeks and then loses it. Like, this is ridiculous. If that happens, I'm fed up.
Brad, your thoughts?
As weird as it sounds, the Rikishi thing kind of makes sense in a way. As in, like, the only guy who could bring him back. It's like, who can bring two brothers back together except their dad? It's not going to happen. But, I could see it working. But more realistically, I think it's just going to be to a point where leaning into War Games, something happens to Jimmy that Jay just can't stand aside anymore. And he has to intervene.
Okay. Matt, thoughts?
Well, I kind of said it before with the sub story arc with the Rikishi getting involved and saying, knocking their heads together and saying, your brothers, beat out your sisters, get in that ring, and they have a PLE level match on a PLE maybe as an opener, a big, and they should, hopefully they do more than their standard Young Bucks knockoff routine that they do.
Super kick after super kick after super kick.
Yeah, and mixed up with Samoan slams and top rope body flashes.
Right. Now, I had a thought, and I actually did a video on this not too long ago, because they've only announced 2 matches for Crown Jewel as of right now. Now, going with the Paul Levesque formula, we're going to at least get 5 matches.
Okay. Are they going to do another Greatest Royal Rumble?
Probably not. Thank God, no. So I was thinking, what other matches would you book for this event? Now, I know from my own, and I think Matt will agree. A match that needs to be at this event: Seth Rollins versus Big Bronson Reed.
Yeah, that could be there.
All right, I'm okay with that.
So, Ego, just some fantasy booking in your head. Toss out something.
Fantasy booking. Man, the weird thing is Braun Breaker would still be. If it wasn't on this Monday, I would have still done Braun Breaker versus Jey Uso. Maybe even if you want to throw in Sami Zayn and make it a triple threat match, that could possibly bring Jey Uso back to the bloodline. That's something I can think of there. It sucks that it's Gunther versus Cody for this champion because that still would have worked, even though they put that on there now. Dang, if I'm fantasy booking it, how far along is Charlotte in her rehab?
Oh, no.
She will probably, okay. Charlotte will probably show up after Tiffany cashes in. It'll be on a SmackDown, and Nia will be upset, and she'll be out there saying that how dare you disrespect the queen? You should bow down to the queen. Cue Charlotte's, and then cue Charlotte's music.
Okay.
I have thought.
I mean, if I'm gonna, my bad, dude, Matt. I would say if I'm gonna book it, the only match that I would think of that I'd want to book is Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. Like, I know it's months off of rehab and they're waiting to do a whole story, but or probably gonna get it later on. But that's what I want to see, like right now, if I'm fantasy booking it. That's the only match I can think of that I want to see. I know. I just want. I want early Christmas. That's all. I'll wait, but that's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head. Has Kairi? It's not Kairi Sane. Is it? Or is it?
Io Sky.
Io Sky. Yeah, I was gonna say Io Sky versus Charlotte. That would be fun. That would be fun too. Maybe NXT-ish, but I know. Like I said, just if I'm fantasy booking it, no build up, and just in ring watch how fun it would probably be those two matches. I can't think of anything else that I'm probably not going to see at some point down the line anyway, but those are the two I want to see.
Everybody, welcome to Tony Khan. I'm kidding.
That's what it sounds like. I'll take it.
So something you said, Eagle, gave me a thought about that Cody Gunther match. If they really wanted to swerve it up, have Trick Williams come out and say there's another champion, make it a triple championship match.
Yeah, that would be fun.
You know, and that would make it so that neither Cody nor let Trick Will win it basically. So neither Cody nor Gunther has a loss to each other at that point.
I'd be okay with that.
And speaking of bad blood, had I actually been able to be on the show, given how high I was last Wednesday on pain meds, I would have probably got the event to occur earlier by saying everything after the Hell in a Cell match was a bathroom match because of the Hell in a Cell. God.
Basically.
Yeah.
The match was amazing.
Yeah.
So, Brad, a match that you would like to see.
I think they probably should have saved the Bronson Reed Braun Strowman match for Saudi Arabia.
Ooh.
I
got an idea.
I'm just going back and looking at some of the prior ones, trying to see what we had. I mean, it's so weird. I mean, this is what, in 2 weeks? Or is it this weekend? When is it?
It is the first weekend. It's the first Saturday in November.
Okay, so basically 2 weeks from now. I guess you're kind of right. They're setting up Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins, which we do have to see. I just don't know if it should be seen there.
And Bronson Reed should win.
I can. Oh, someone's not a noise. And I'm looking at like some of the past matches, like from last year. We had a U.S. Championship match, so I guess we could have L.A. Knight and Andrade,
or L.A. Knight, Andrade, Carmelo Hayes.
That's okay. That works too. That's a good
okay
triple threat. Yeah,
and put the belt on Carmelo Hayes.
I'm okay with that as well.
I think I had picked Carmelo Hayes in our fantasy booking last year to go far.
Oh yeah. All right, Matt.
But they had 8 matches last year.
I'm swinging for the fences on this.
8?
I'm swinging for the fences here. Because of a rumor I saw earlier today. We're going to do a all-out monster mash with not only Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed, but Obafemi. It's a fatal 4-way. Brock Lesnar.
Wow.
Okay. It's interesting you brought up Brock Lesnar. So,
because I saw the rumor, and
I'm glad you brought it up. Now, earlier today, was it Sean Ross Sapp on Fightful Insider said that WWE and Brock may be talking, but there's no concrete plans as of right now. So, Brad, as the legal expert here,
No. Do not
So-
get
so-
involved. Stay away from Brock Lesnar
So-
right now.
That's my thing, because as we saw in the Vince docu series, the Wall Street Journal reporter who broke the story positively named Brock Lesnar in the Janelle Grant lawsuit.
Mhm.
So for me personally, and I know there are a lot of marks out there who are saying Brock's returning. I'm like, until the Janelle Grant case is done, I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole.
And this has
Yeah.
nothing to do with
That case
actual
won't be done for
legality of
5
the
to 10
case.
years, though.
It
What
doesn't
was that?
matter.
That case won't be done for 5 to 10 years.
I know,
not
but
gonna
look,
fuck
Brock
with
is
you.
done. Brock is done.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact he's got named in this shit, this isn't even legal. Whether anything happens to him or not, this is just from a PR
wrap.
perspective. So, I mean, just think about it. Let's say Harvey Weinstein's conviction, one of his convictions got overturned.
Yep.
No one's like, oh, he's a good guy now.
Yep. Same thing for Cosby.
They're gonna still see Brock Lesnar. First off, he's not a young dude anymore. He's in his mid-40s, I think, right?
A little more than that.
Right.
Yeah.
He's still in
He's
better shape than
47.
Randy
He's
Savage.
47.
I know.
So it's not like he's going to come back and get a major career. I mean, you got Cena there who's like almost 50 right now, and he's like ending it. So he's going to be on his light career run. Brock Lesnar doesn't need this. And I don't think the WWE needs Brock Lesnar. They sure don't need his
still,
reputation
one of
now.
the top Merc draws.
Yeah.
And the Saudis
Okay.
are throwing money at this. So if I could see if they bring him back for any one thing, it's in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
No one
Good
cares.
point. Good point.
No.
Because they don't care about things.
I mean, I hate to say
Really?
it this way, guys, but Saudi Arabia, your women have rights in America. You know,
With my
No,
friend.
You journalists
always-
report something bad about the Saudi family? Whoops.
Well, which always makes me laugh whenever they're doing the Saudi shows and they're cutting the little almost of the superstars going around Riyadh and everything, and they'll talk to some of the women and they're like, oh, I just love, I mean, back to Saudi, it feels like I'm coming home, and it in my head, and I'm like, except here I can't vote, here I can't drive, here I have to,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
They can drive until 2017.
what
I had a
makes-
friend who was Saudi. He was so mad when he heard about it. So
what
that's
makes
how I
me
know.
laugh about the Saudi matches is the women can't wear their normal ring outfits, but they have to wear skin tight bodysuits.
Yep.
which now I'm also interested with the Saudi show. Where does, because they almost have to have him on there. Where does Sammy fit into this?
Oh,
Isn't he Syrian?
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's politically speaking, that's not a compatibility.
That's complicated.
well,
Yeah.
but he gets a huge pop over there.
I'm not saying he
He always
won't.
had.
I'm just saying those countries play it, the ethnicity stuff way up more than we do. So he could be over there. He might not. I mean, so do we think they're going to do a short PLE, like a 5 or 6 matcher?
Well, last year was 5, I think.
thought
So I agree that I agree, and we know we got what, at least 2 or 3.
last year was 8.
Last year was that must have been because last year was 25. Vince was still in charge.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. I mean, we had Sammy versus JD McDonough, Seth Rollins versus Drew, 5-way match for the women's championship, Solo versus John Cena, Logan
Right,
Paul,
okay.
Rey Mysterio, Io, Bianca, Cody, Damian Priest, and Roman and LA Knight.
Question. So for this one, do they get like a separate like pay increase for being named to be on this?
No.
Or what?
No.
What?
Okay. Hang on. This is the difference between pay-per-view revenue and streaming revenue. Pay-per-view, you got paid for if you were A, on the show, and B, how many times you were on the show.
Okay.
So, and that goes for the talent. Now, as far as a streaming, they get a big chunk fee. Like for this event, WWE is getting paid $50 million.
Is that's spread amongst everybody?
Well, based on their
That's-
contracts.
No, it's the
Based on
WWE.
the contract.
So here's to keep it like generic. You'll have your contract with WWE or AEW, whoever, that gives you a chunk of money, right? And
Okay.
they'll say you must appear at 200 house shows and 16 pay-per-view, whatever the number is. You get paid a
Right.
chunk of money for that, right? Then you'll have your contract. It's like another contract with each venue you go to, and so traditionally wrestlers who, this is why, if you ever notice, for people listening, they're in the pre-shows they'll have like these 6 battle royals or 4-way tag teams or whatever. Anyone who appears in a match there in the arena gets a cut of the arena revenue.
Oh, okay.
Now, even Vince, for all his like shenanigans financially, had kept that as part of WWE, where if you perform at the show, you get a cut of the arena revenue, even if it's a house show.
Okay.
You know,
Wow.
so any of the as we were saying, that's kind of how it works. And then there's other stuff like your merch and all that sort of stuff. Any merch of yours that sells the show is part of the house revenue you get too, by the way.
Wow.
Right.
Okay. All right.
We're gonna see. So that they got stuff to build, which I really don't think that Paul Levesque cares about the show too much, because
I agree.
I think it's just okay. Let's go champion versus champion. Fine, you get your Saudi Mania, because I got the Warrior Games to build.
Okay.
And as we also heard from the WrestleMania documentary, Paul Levesque has pretty much WrestleMania 41 like almost done, almost completely booked at this point. So so just when we were doing our fantasy booking of events, and we're going a few events, just imagine how Paul Levesque's mind works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder if what tool he uses for it. It'd be interesting to see if he does a spreadsheet, if he has a PowerPoint or like a flowchart or whatever. Curious about that.
Or it's some big chalkboard with the red lines and tug on the string.
So the next W event is the Crown Jewel, but that's not a real event. It's like a pseudo event, I guess you would say.
Right, and then we have Survivor Series, which will be War Games, and then after that there's no premium live event in December, but there is the return of Saturday night's main event, which they're going to treat it like a premium live event.
Okay.
By the way,
And
guys, my all-time favorite pay-per-view of all wrestling is coming up: Halloween Havoc. Spin the wheel.
Yes.
Yeah.
October 27th. That'll be the NXT.
Yeah.
Premium live.
Ego, if you want to go back and see some classic build-up to a match, the build-up to Vader and Sting at Halloween Havoc, with the little dwarf runner going, "Spin the wheel, make the deal." Like it was a very well done. It was a very well done promo with like all gothic stuff and whatever. But the lead up into that match, man, I think was it a 4-way leather strap match, or I'm trying to remember what exactly it was. But it was. I love Halloween Havoc. We know it's not really random, but it seems random. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah.
All righty. So, are we ready to do a little top 5 even?
Sort of. Mine is
Just
not that
bit of
great. But...
AEW news before you get over there. So
okay, go Matt. You want to talk a little AEW?
Yeah, my girl Thunder Rosa is recovered from concussion protocol. She wrestled in a London so a local London Wrestling Federation, and got the title there. So they did a promo. That's our first promo thing. Also, FU Dave Meltzer. Not only did AEW get a contract, like you said, they wouldn't. They got now 2 and possibly a 3rd contract coming up. So FU Dave.
with Fox Sports Espanol.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh.
And, also, one of the so in the case of, and one final thing, this is about booking. So Daniel Bryan dropped the title this past week.
John Moxley.
It was not supposed to be that soon. It was because he has to have his neck surgery sooner rather than later. So AEW has been using this neck surgery as part of a kayfabe type of thing, and so he's legit injured. But not that he got hurt in the ring. He has a legit neck injury and needs to have surgery. After which he will be a part-time performer at most.
Correct. Is this more like he needs the disc removed or is it a fusion? Do they say what
I
they're
haven't
gonna do?
seen the details of it yet. But because they've been trying to say that the injury they're showing him getting in the ring where they're choking him and breaking his neck, that's not where the injury is in his back. But they're protecting him obviously in the ring.
Yeah.
Just so you know, it's a real injury, and they're working it well into the storyline of what they're doing. So.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. So we're doing a little top 5 here. The top 5 worst women's WWE champions in the entire history. WWF, Divas, Raw, SmackDown, WWE Women's Championship, and Women's World Championship.
And this, all right. I want to go last on the first pick because obviously I was behind. I actually didn't get to look at this today.
Spoilers
Okay.
for the 5 picks.
Did they take away the ability to write in like something else except your actual display name?
Oh, that's on.
I'm gonna just say mine because typing with my back at this angle is a little rough.
Gotcha.
All right.
Can't,
Well,
I didn't notice. Can we not do that anymore?
Yeah, stupid StreamYard.
That's we're okay. We're just gonna. This is experimenting.
Oh, wow.
We're just.
Okay.
We're gonna make this work.
Okay.
Oh, okay, Karen.
It's Darren, okay?
All right, for our number 5. Ego, are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Brad, are you ready?
I think so.
Matt?
Yeah, I mean it's tough, but I got 6 technically I can go with.
I got a whole bunch. I'm just gonna go off it.
Okay, and reveal it.
Well, I can't reveal, so I'm going to say as well.
Well, so I'll go first. Brie Mode, Brie Bella. This is during the Divas era. Obviously, the worst time for women's wrestling as far as the WWE went. And Brie held the title. Brie won the title in April of 2011 and lost it in June of 2011. She held it for a whopping 2 months. And the less I have to hear of that song, the happier I am. Ego.
That was my
Who do you got?
So I'm going to go with Nia Jax's initial first title run of 2018, for which she held for 70 days. And again, this is the first title reign, not the current one where she hasn't hurt anybody and she's been decent. I will say I'll give her at least being decent and somewhat serviceable. But her 2018 run to me was terrible. And from what I recall, she was considered a face after she got body shamed by Alexa Bliss. I don't see that as your reason to turn face. Like, it's a terrible look. It's even weirder that it's 2018 at this point. It's like, I'm a face because I got body shamed. It didn't work. And I'm glad that she actually wound up dropping the strap 70 days later. It's just, that's not a good way to say you're a face. It could be
there you go,
insurmountable odds or getting jumped. The body shaming doesn't work for me, man.
It's a better reason to face or heel turn than getting tagged in too hard. That was Mark Henry.
All right. Matt, you're number 5.
Okay. So at one point with this list, I could have got all 5 of them from the late 1990s.
Yes.
right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm gonna go, but my number 5, it's toss up, but I'm gonna go with Deborah, who won
Oh,
/
okay.
lost to Sable in an evening gown match. Shawn Michaels declared her the winner because she lost more clothing and she became the WWE Women's Champ.
God, and people wonder why that the
And for people listening,
booking was
I'm going solely based on the storyline that got them there, because some of these
Okay.
people had like legit careers that are great. When you get to my number 2,
Correct.
that's what I mean. You know.
all right. Brad.
Carmella.
Ooh,
I have never liked Carmella as a wrestler. I honestly don't think she has a lot of skill. And the whole time with her leading up to becoming a champion, who was she running with? James Ellsworth.
right. Yes.
It was basically, did he win at one point? I don't even remember. I mean,
No.
but there was all this weird stuff going on with her having the money in the bank and him being involved. And it was just like, if you're trying to, this was actually, when was this? It was 2017, 2018. We're trying to make the women's championships be legitimate at this point, and you're having this going on. I mean, it just,
well, her first cash in, which was on Charlotte, she had the it was booked that the Iconics would jump into the ring and beat up Charlotte, and they thought it was just for an angle for them. And then they hear Mella's music come on, and she goes into cash in. So the Iconics had no idea what was going on. All right, interesting choices there. Okay, so our number 4.
Yep.
Are we ready?
Already loaded in, ready to go.
Brad, you ready?
how did you do that? Oh, I see what you did.
Yeah, you see what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah, they got rid of that thing. Weird.
Yeah, I told you, man. Weird.
Are we ready?
I got one.
And reveal.
My choice is tied because they're the same person, the Bella Twins.
Okay. So Matt will go with the. So Matt, let's go with you first. So you're gonna do them. You're gonna say them both.
So you basically gave the rundown on Brie Bella, right? Neither of them can wrestle. They're horrible. Mae Young, when she was in her 60s, was a better in-ring wrestler than both of them combined. And
wow.
Mae Young was hardcore. When Bubba Ray was gonna do the Bubba Bomb to her off the deck into the tables, she said to him, "You better put me over and make me look good." Like she threatened him. Because Bubba wanted to go easy on her, protect her. Said, "Don't put me over and make me look good." She wanted the full out Bubba Bomb experience, So
wow.
the Bella is the exact opposite of that. They came from an era, for those who don't understand, when the storyline of Total Divas was dictating who got the belt on TV, and they're also, I hate to say it this way, they're very attractive, unattractive women.
Yes.
Oh, it's like the Two-Face in the Seinfeld episode.
Kind of, yeah. And watching their matches, I crap on the Usos as being the discount Young Bucks because they stole part of the Young Bucks routine. Well, the Bellas are like they stole each other's routine of the same 3 moves. It's just abysmal. So they're the only ones not from the late 1990s, if I got my list correct, on this list.
All right. I will be right back. So we'll go Brad and then Ego.
Okay.
All right. So the cat, aka the former Mrs. Jerry Lawler, not a wrestler. And I was, looking also at the 90s, and there are so many. But she was a valet turned wrestler. And when she won her match, which one was it? It was hold on.
Evening gown match.
There's an evening gown match.
Oh.
And at the end, I'm pretty certain she flashed the crowd.
She did.
Yep. And that was about it. She lost the belt to someone else who we may talk about later on, possibly. But yeah, I mean, it's just like you look back on it, and I was watching some videos, and one guy goes, "Look, there were a whole bunch of us who were like 12 or 13 years old at the time. Just us boys are starting to realize certain things about being a man. That helped us, but beyond that, oh, it was not good. That was about it." I mean,
And that flashing incident, the one that was on TV. So
Yeah,
I looked into that, obviously, because I want to
Intensely.
understand what happened.
for research. I got you.
not high def, damn it.
So that she had been flashing people at house shows, being told to do by Vince. Okay, being told, and she was fine with that. When she flashed them at whatever Raw, or whatever, the camera wasn't supposed to be on her.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
that was a
my
mistake.
man, my cameraman took his chance.
Wait, hold on, Ego. Do you remember what Jerry would say anytime someone showed tits?
Puppies.
Puppies.
The key in the puppies. The key in the puppies.
Jesus Christ.
I also became a man during this Raw era.
And
But
he married her,
Well, I was a
left
man.
WWE for her. Then when she dumped him, he begged his way back into WWE.
Yeah.
I would too. All right, so
Eagles
mine, I've got a Deborah 1999. For all the same reasons that Matt was saying. I mean, it's one thing how you get your title and how you keep it. It doesn't help. I mean, she was a great valet, great on the mic, but I mean, if you win the title for an evening gown match, you retain it in a bikini contest. Like there's supposed to be a wrestling element I'm looking for that I didn't see. Highly entertaining for me at 13, but I mean, not much else. And you can see how people really didn't take the women's championship title so seriously because
No.
neither did they. That's
Nope.
why I've got to know number
Exactly.
4.
Exactly. So my number 4 was Stephanie McMahon. Talk about just a token championship, which actually wasn't really a token championship because she held it for 5 months.
Oh, the other reign. I thought you were talking about the corporate one, which was like a year or whatever.
No,
The actual champion.
her first run
Yeah.
as just in what was it, March of 2000 to August of 2000.
Yeah, when she did the other run, that actually worked well with the storyline of them cheating the corporation and all that.
So yeah, not a great championship. It was really treated as a joke, and it's until Lita got the momentum that they decided to take the belt off of her and put it on Lita.
That was such a sad.
All right.
There's so many women
Oh.
wrestlers who
Yeah.
didn't want to do that. Like great with Awesome Kong, Gail Kim, who all went on to
Jacqueline,
big
wasn't
wrestling
Jacqueline a
careers.
pretty good wrestler?
Yeah, but
Jacqueline
she
was
stayed
good.
in for a long time. Who they could have developed that wrestling program for women way sooner. However,
Could have. All right, number 3. Are we ready?
Yep, let's do it.
Yep.
All righty. And reveal.
Oh, I forgot it. I forgot to add that, Ego. You're right. I forgot about that.
That was like,
Mine is
why did you
Candice-
not forget that?
Candice Michelle.
Ugh.
Okay, so
One claim to fame for Candace.
so Brad, you had Stephanie.
Yep.
Ego, you had who? The cat?
Yeah, the cat.
Okay. And I had Miss Kelly, or Holla Holla, who started off in ECW. Oh wait, I'm sorry, WWECW, the worst version of ECW ever.
Yeah.
Don't care what anyone says. When Kelly came out at 19, gave the worst striptease ever, and decided to bring her to the main roster. this is during the Divas era when you actually had people like Beth Phoenix who were legitimate, and you put a belt on Kelly, who was about 110 pounds soaking wet. I never believed her as a legitimate wrestler. So, Matt, who do you have as your number 3?
I said, what's her face? Candice Michelle. Now, for those who don't know, this is a case where the storyline was actually a shoot because it was occurring in real life. She was helping Vince with some stress relief, if you know what I mean. And so Vince decided that was going to be the in-ring storyline, that he was, hot for her, and therefore he's giving her a push, So that's why she became champion, and that's why she's number 3.
Gotcha. All right. Ego? Your choice.
All right, I got the cat, aka China. I remember that's one of the things that I will never forget was her saying that on live TV and everyone just being like, yeah, sure you are. But yeah, besides the fact that she was fake China, again, I forgot to say it with Brad. You're saying it was an evening gown match. It was a 4 corners evening gown pool match. Was what I remember.
Oh my!
And there were some pudding matches also she competed.
Oh,
in.
bro, that's how she retained.
Yeah.
Pudding match, swimming.
Those aren't easy, man. That's some
matches.
talent.
It's quite.
Wait, wasn't the cat when she was little China? Didn't she have another name?
For China, yeah, that's what it was.
It was for China.
For China, and there was something else. There was something before that. She was something else, and she wanted to be called the cat when they did the pudding.
She was
match.
Miss Kitty at one point.
That might have been it.
I have another miniature version of herself that was also called Asia or something like that. I know there was a big WCW Asia who was
no, that was someone else, and the cat was also in real life dating Jerry Lawler.
Married.
Did they marry him?
Married. Yeah, they were married. They were married.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't get to see her at home naked. He had to see her on TV.
God.
Well, like I said earlier, he left WWE for her, and when she dumped him, he begged his way back in. So.
Yeah.
Oh, so it really was. Okay. Wow. God.
All right, Brad, your pick.
Stephanie, Joker, you already said a lot of it, but it's just it was demeaning to the whole title. And I swear, I have this image in my mind. I don't remember if it's like one of those Mandela effects where you think you remember something and it didn't happen. I remember her pinning to win the belt and looking around like, do I do this? Do I do this? And I forget, did she pin Jacqueline? I don't remember who she pinned, but it was
Jacqueline. Yeah, Jacqueline.
Literally, she looked around like, do I do this? Do I this? And every time after that, she's holding the belt, like, am I doing this right? And so it's like, you're supposed to be the billionaire brat at this point, Mrs. McMahon Helmsley McMahon, and you're supposed to be a total bitch. And every time she carried the belt, she didn't look like a total bitch. It just wasn't congruous.
True.
Right.
If they're going to put the belt on her for storyline purposes, make her be a bitch with the belt.
Right.
Fair.
It looked really nasty. Every time she competed, just fake looking mean. Don't look totally lost. I guess that was a storyline. She shouldn't be that way, but she still was meant to be a badass bitch. Personally, it just didn't work.
True story. All right. Are we ready for our number 2?
Yes.
I will be in a second.
All righty. All right. I know Ego's ready. I know Matt's ready.
I'm good.
Brad, you ready?
Good.
And reveal.
So I'm picking.
Oh, nice one, Brad.
The Fabulous Moolah's late 1990s title run.
Okay.
Oh God. Okay. Hang on a second. Let me do this real quick here. So, Ego, you were Stephanie.
Yes. It just for all the reasons that you guys have mentioned earlier.
Whoa.
140.
Hey.
Oh,
hang on real quick.
On air, guys.
He's keeping track.
McMahon. This is all virtual image.
Brad. Brad, you were who?
Whippleman, Harvey.
That's awesome. And so Ego is and Matt is Moolah. All right. So Ego, go first. Stephanie McMahon Helmsley.
Yeah, for all the reasons y'all had mentioned earlier, held it for 146 days, only defended it twice. It was peak nepotism. And I would say that the win was so shocking and kind of disgusting that a men's Royal Rumble kind of broke out right after that. I didn't even know what was happening at all. All I know is at one point Jeff Hardy's in there, then the Big Show jumps in there, The Rock, it's Mick Foley. It was just completely chaotic. So you knew it's like, quick. Well, hey, the crowd's not responding. What do we do? Quick, start a Royal Rumble. I'm like, because I'm looking, I was like, oh, there wasn't even time to really digest it because you knew this is a bad idea. So let's make a Royal Rumble breakout. It was complete hell. And that's why it's my number 2.
All right, I'll go next. Nikki ASH, almost a superhero, which ASH stood for almost a superhero. So you're saying it twice. That's a starting point.
My God.
This was a gimmick that was shit to begin with, and they had her win Money in the Bank, cash in the following Raw on Charlotte, and lose pretty much immediately 1 week later. Back to Charlotte, so Charlotte can pad her stats. That's all that was for. But the character initially, fans kind of liked it because it was endearing initially, but then when she turned dark, almost a superhero, it just fell apart completely. But as far as the champion goes, no, this was absolutely just to pad Charlotte's stats. So Brad, Mr. Harvey Whippleman.
Yes, the 2000 version of Leah Thomas. Harvey, aka Hervina, was a man/woman ahead of her time, and also should not have been competing in women's events. Hervina defeated the Cat, and I'm going to read this because I literally could not say this otherwise. A Limberjill snow bunny match.
Oh yeah,
which is a snow-filled pool surrounded by female wrestlers.
Yep.
I mean, he was like he was a manager, and how long did he hold the belt? Just not long. But the fact this, for all the demeaning parts we had in the 1990s, here you have it. We're 2000, the new millennium. We survived Y2K. And I know some of you guys, well, Ego won't remember how traumatic that was because he was like 13.
No, my dad was saving water, soup, oatmeal. My dad was a computer analyst.
And now
so
we know thank God we know now from COVID, the most important thing to save is toilet paper. Yeah. I mean, he came out wearing a wig. It's just like you can't seriously. I don't even know where to go with it. It's just like, this is the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. It wasn't even funny. It was literally bad. Literally just bad. And if they were trying to give any credibility, and I really don't think they were, but they're trying to give some credibility to the women's division, gone. Absolutely gone.
Yeah. And Matt, the fabulous Moolah.
Our second title reign. So before let me preface saying, I am not talking about any alleged behind-the-scenes shenanigans or bad things that Moolah may or may not have been involved with in her life. There's all rumors. We're leaving that aside for you. We're talking about the wrestling in-ring stuff. So Moolah, she is the longest reigning WWE title holder. She's at 25 plus years for the original WWE Women's title. Okay? The one that got retired for the Divas title. And for her lifetime, her and Mae Young, but especially her, big Merc draws, crowds love them. They come out of the way this year. So that's why Vince basically did what he did in the 1990s with her. the second title run, which was a total freaking disaster. I don't need to go into details, but she Moolah did not hold up as well physically as Mae Young in her 60s. Like Mae Young could still take spots in her 60s. Moolah couldn't. They did do some matches. It didn't look good, and it's really the insult to Moolah's in-ring legacy that reign was. It's like when Bob Backlund came back and had that 1 month title reign of his. It was a joke title reign. It wasn't a serious title reign. And that's why it's number 2. It's just, again, leaving aside any real life shenanigans or corruptness or whatever, just talking about the wrestling experience. Moolah was well respected. I respect her wrestling career. I've always enjoyed her. Mae Young was the old timers, put the show on, and that title reign was a direct insult to that legacy.
Now, wasn't Moolah the one who took the belt off of Wendy Richter in the Wendy Richter screw job?
That wasn't really a screw job. That was a work. In other words,
Okay.
trying to remember all the details, because Vince with the women's title in the 90s did not care anything all about storylines. He was like,
true,
either hot chicks or Merc. That's all he cared about with the women's.
They weren't hot chicks.
Yeah, well, I mean,
well, the early 90s. Yeah,
there were some hot chicks there. From like 95 through 2005, and then you got the influx of hot chicks from WCW, well, the cheerleaders and all that,
Yeah.
But like I said,
the Nitro girls.
Yeah, if Moolah had not been who she was before, this wouldn't be on this list at all. But it would be like if I don't know, John Cena came back in his 70s and became the champion of the male champion in his 70s or something over a guy who's 7 foot tall with an NFL linebacker build or whatever. You know what I mean?
It's possible.
Gotcha.
I mean, he has. He added a move, Matt. He doesn't have 5 moves of death. He now has 6. So
now he has 6 moves to do.
By 70, he could add his 7th.
Cena's actually a legit, really good wrestler.
He's a good performer. It's just funny that the jokes are funny.
Yeah.
And I think the 7th would be slapping someone with his Social Security check.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
You can't see this.
Neither can I. Social Security's bankrupt.
Okay. For our number 1 worst women's champion in the history of the WWE. Covering it all. Ego, are you ready?
I am ready, sir. That's loaded.
Brad, are you ready?
Yep, good to go.
Matt, you got yours ready to go?
I've been ready. And there was no brainer for this one. The very first person I thought of.
Me either. First thing I thought, for me, this was the first thing I thought of. 3, 2, 1, reveal.
Harvey Hurricane, whatever the fuck the.
I was almost with you, but I changed at the end, and I totally get Joker. I know where Joker's at.
I understand yours, Joker. I'm saying, but when I thought of one of this, I was like, yeah, the first thing that popped into my head, like not even 7 seconds later, right? Like when I read the words and I thought like women's champions, and it's like the slot machines come up, like all the slots came up this one.
Right. Here, got this. And Ego, you got wow, Jillian Hall. Wow.
She was pretty.
Alrighty.
She started talking.
Pretty bad. Okay, Ego, go first.
All right, so she has the record for the shortest Divas Championship, a whopping 5 minutes. She defeated. Was it Mickey James in that match?
Yeah,
it was a mini power bomb.
An actual wrestler.
Yeah, and actually who was pretty good at the time. It's a simple power bomb, not a finisher, nothing of the sort. It was a get out of a move to put you in another move type of move. And she used the top rope, pins her. The crowd is stunned. It takes all of 9 seconds for them to actually figure out what is actually going on before they realize she's just won the belt. And now I have to hear her talk and try to sing.
Oh,
and I
God.
had trouble with her talking because I have hearing loss. Around this time, I would have taken my hearing aids out. It was that bad. And this is before she even tried singing. Like I just, deafness would have been a retreat from her voice. But
Wow.
then a stunning thing for me is the fact that of all the videos on WWE's YouTube channel that I've seen that have, thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions of views, this is the only one with the comments turned off.
Ah,
So I was like, okay, she's got to be number one. If it's that bad that you don't want people talking about it, which only makes me want to talk about it even more, you have to be number one on my list.
wow. All right, Brad.
For a bit there, I was kind of in line with Matt. I had Hervina number 1 and Mula number 2, but I kind of went the opposite way of Matt, and I could not ignore whether it's I can't ignore it because it's too much. I mean, yeah, Mula had for many years a great wrestling career as a wrestler, but then you look at what she did to maintain that career and whether or not all the allegations are true or not. Here's the problem with allegations. It's one thing if one person says it's another thing if multiple people say it. We've probably all seen the dark side of the ring. We've already read enough about it. What she did to keep other people down, whether or not the allegations are true, there's just enough of them said that makes you say, you know what? This person's just a bad person. And as a champion, that makes her a bad champion. Yeah, you could recognize her accomplishments as a wrestler. Same thing we recognize Vince McMahon's accomplishments creating WWE. But the bottom line is, overall, he is probably the worst promoter, period. Mula is the worst champion based on everything she did. And don't forget, there's at one point going to be a fabulous Mula Battle Royal. It became significant enough. All the conversations, all the allegations, all the stories from people, they said, we can't call it that anymore. You will not hear the fabulous Mula ever mentioned again in WWE. Mae Young, yeah, we still have the Mae Young tournament. You'll never hear fabulous Mula again.
Yeah, about 20 more years they'll have something for her. After everyone who could possibly sue is dead.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. Yeah, let the
But
statute of limitations take them out.
I, unless you are willing to sue over and therefore be subject to perjury, I don't believe anything anyone says when they make accusations anymore.
All right, Matt, your pick.
So Hervina / Harvey Whippleman. Nothing against him per se. Obviously, it's a Vince thing, but women's wrestling has its place, and I don't mean to say that to say. The reality is the men are more athletic, can do more spots. So women's wrestling is always going to be like a notch below, and only certain women are going to elevate into the top level of performance where you'd say that's as good as a men's match. And that's not to say that women can't. It's like watching the WNBA versus the NBA. You can watch WNBA games and get a good game once in a while and say, it's cool, it's okay to watch. I'm not saying I'm a big fan of it or whatever, but then you watch the NBA and it's like watching, 10-year-olds playing W in terms of the athletic comparison. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Given that women's wrestling has its niche, I've enjoyed women's wrestling over the years. Mid-card come in, have some of the pretty ladies. They taunt the crowd differently, that sort of thing. Which, by the way, Rick Rude's gimmick is basically him stealing the women's wrestling way of taunting.
Yeah.
You never knew that. Okay. So to do this, what they did in the late 90s, I don't know if it was Vince just pulling a hissy fit over the Under Blaze title in the garbage thing for 5 years or whatever, but to insult the WWE women's division by doing this with Hervina, and it's worse nowadays, obviously because of the Leah Thompson, where they're doing it to real athletics now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
or Santina.
Like all the W racial storylines that some of us look back on badly if in the 90s. I don't, because they're reflective of the culture, so to speak. But how that was predictive of some of the crap we're seeing now in real life, with the DI stuff. That storyline disrespect of the women by the Hervina thing we're seeing in real life now in real sports. You know, it's like it was predictive, and that's why it's number one. It's worse than the Divas era of championships because at least there they were women and they were pretty and you can get something out of it, so to speak. This was garbage time. It's like watching Highlander 4 3 times in a row.
Wow, that's torture.
Yeah.
So mine was Lay Cool. When you had Layla, who won the Divas search, which basically means she was just a hot chick who was somewhat athletic and someone who was legitimately a good competitor in the ring, Michelle DeMcCool. This was WWE's version of the Beautiful People. Velvet Sky and Angelina Rose, I believe her name is. So this was a farce where they actually took the belt and did a jagged cut, and so they would both have half a belt and they would put it together, and it was cringe, absolute cringe, because later on the Michelle McCool proved that she could actually go in the ring. So I thought this was absolutely horrid. Absolutely horrid. Now this is interesting. Go on.
One final note there. The Beautiful People could actually were decent women's tag team wrestlers. So
yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're interesting here. We have a two-way tie for third, a two-way tie, a three-way tie for second, and a three-way tie for first.
Jesus.
Yo.
And we all went to the same rough time period for the same thing. We all knew that was going to be except for me with the Bellas because I hate them. They're like watching Island of the Source twice.
That's why I'm like, I gotta find someone a little more current. That's like, I just do not like Carmella, and I thought it was terrible.
So
I like Carmella when she was with what's her
Enzo and Cass. Yeah. So Nikki and Brie and Deborah came in tied for third at 3 points each. At second place was the Cat, Jillian Hall, and Lay Cool all came in at 5. And in a three-way tie for first place, Stephanie McMahon, Harvey Whippleman, and the fabulous Moolah. So how do we break this tie? Do we send it to the chat?
Well, it's like saying, is Highlander 5 that much worse than Highlander 3 and 4? Well, Highlander 2 and 4 was 3 was okay.
I think was there a 5?
Highlander the Source.
Yeah, the Source.
Yeah, but that was Duncan. That wasn't Connor at that point.
Might as well be.
They killed Mythos. I forgot they killed Mythos. Never mind.
Yeah.
So how do we want to break this tie for number one? Because we needed
we got Stephanie.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Harvey.
We got Harvey
and
Moolah.
The Moolah.
Okay. My opinion, I think we put Stephanie at number 3.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree there.
So
okay.
Now, honestly, my opinion on Moolah was mainly based on outside the ring stuff. And again, I did state that I first had Harvey as number 1 over Moolah. So I would be willing Harvey.
So I think we can agree that Harvey is the bigger insult to the women's wrestling.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yes.
And ultimately that's kind of what this whole thing was. What was the biggest insult to women's wrestling?
Yeah.
That's fair.
All righty. So
the biggest insult to wrestling was Vince McMahon.
Oh wait, guys, we totally fucked this up. We need to argue more about rank it. Let's talk about Oreos and oatmeal cookies.
No, we're good. So far we
announced the winner of this contest. There we go.
So far for our top fives of this with our new scoring system, the worst WWE faction is the Main Street Posse. The greatest faction is Ego. Get it up there.
Oh yeah, I
Get
have
that.
to. I have to.
Is the Bloodline, and now the worst women's wrestler is Harvey Whippleman. Hervina.
I was thinking Harvey Weinstein. Jesus Christ.
So the
I was so close. It's so
the best
close. It's
faction
so close.
was the week I was sick. Right?
Yes, and so
And I was
Brad.
hiding. I was hiding
Yes.
last week.
And Brad is keeping track of all our tops here. So next week,
My best faction
Next week?
for one reason, only one reason, was Evolution because of the song. I would have picked that number one.
oh, Motorhead, yes.
Yeah.
I will not be
So-
here next week.
Okay, so next week we have not the worst women's champion, the best top 5 best women's champion. And since Brad is not here next week, let's expand it to a top 10.
Oh God, I'll try.
Yeah.
Maybe just
Okay.
split. How about
Top
top
7.
7?
Top 7.
I'll take top 7. Okay. Top 7.
7 good?
Well, there's enough
Matt?
because we've had the last 6 or 7 years for some. So there's a couple of names you can throw in there.
Definitely. Okay, so next week, top 7 greatest WWF Divas, WWE, SmackDown, Raw, WWE Champion, Women's World Heavyweight, Women's World Champion. Okay, so we're going to go around the horn. LeftEyeEgo, what do you got coming up?
So, guys, on Saturday, Shira and I and some guests will be throwing the first annual. Will be coming up from now on. The Scary Movie Awards. All right, got a few different categories that the guests will be bringing on to judge, and we'll be in costume. So I'm excited for that. Look out for it soon. I forgot. It's actually gonna be Sunday. It's gonna be our special taping of of Ordinary Games. We'll be doing on Sunday, so nothing really changes. So it'll be at 5 p.m. Central. Still working on my hottest take to date. Editing is proven a lot more difficult than I thought it would be, but thank y'all for being patient. It's coming.
Ego, 6 p.m. Central is 7 p.m. Eastern, correct?
Correct.
It's gonna be at 5 p.m. Central, so it's 6.
Oh, 6 p.m. Eastern.
Eastern.
Okay.
6 Eastern. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 6 Eastern.
I'm asking for reasons.
All good. All good. You threw me
Alrighty.
threw me up when I was in Orlando too.
Anything else, Ego, or is that it? Is that all you got coming up?
That's all I've got coming up. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Brad Duke Devil 95, who is finally dry, has power and internet.
Yes.
For now.
What do you
For
got
now. Actually,
for now?
next week I will be actually getting some live, actual, real scene footage from one of my favorite Doctor Who episodes, 4th season of Doctor Who,
Ooh,
called "The Fires of Pompeii." So
Ooh.
I will be
I
getting,
love that episode.
yes,
One of the
as
better
I
novels,
actually
yeah.
walk through Pompeii next Monday, which is
That's
why I will not be here next week.
Okay. Warning to the people of the world: given what Brad's just been through, you may not want to be near Pompeii while Brad is there.
Right. Spoiler alert.
Vesuvius has been a little grumbly, but I think it's being fine. So I am going to be filming a whole bunch of stuff and incorporating it with the review of the Fires of Pompeii.
Love that episode.
The week afterwards, actually featuring another doctor and another companion, if y'all recall.
Yes.
correctly.
Yes. Yes,
So
yes.
I literally will be watching the episode on the flight to Italy and then filming on the streets of what's left of Pompeii. And hopefully
That's
putting
actually
something
cool.
together for when I get back. And when I get back, of course, I'll be back here on Wednesday nights. I'll be tomorrow night on Static 2020's weekend pregame. And come November, knock on wood, I get things running properly. I will be starting, knock on wood, on Sunday, probably in the afternoon, a live watch of Deep Space Nine.
Oh, great. That'd be
Oh.
nice.
Okay.
That's
With
awesome.
guests being invited. It's going to be afternoon my time as soon as I get it that is the plan sometime in November. So
Nice.
hopefully
Very
I
cool.
get it to work out, but I finally decided I want to do a live watch of Deep Space Nine.
Very cool. Matt, what do you got?
Well, tomorrow, Joker, I think you're on there with me. I don't know about you, Ego, on Roman's channel. But we'll be talking about favorite werewolf movies. I'll be recording something tomorrow with the questioners, which we talk about either Tolkien stuff or literary stuff, which will air on the weekend. I'm going to cancel my Friday show again this week. My back, like you can see me, I'm constantly stretching it with, looking like Jabba laying on Thunder Rosa's breast here, which I wouldn't mind doing in real life. But like this back thing is like,
Just get her the gold bikini, dude.
Yeah, Princess
There you
Thunder
go.
Rosa, But this back thing has wrecked me, so that there's not going to be. I might do a short video just explaining the back. I doubt I'm going to be able. I can't record pre-programmed videos until I can sit at my desk for an hour or two. Where OBS and all that is. So, yeah. What else? Obviously, next week will be a Wednesday night is overbooked.
Yep.
And that's kind of all I got going on.
Very cool. And for myself, as Matt said, I will be on with Roman of the Empire tomorrow. We will be talking about werewolf films as all through October. We're talking the spooky stuff. Next week, I'll be back here. Wednesday night is overbooked. Roman of the Empire again. And then on Friday, I will be with Dempsey along with Robert Ryan Athay on his Friday show. And I'll be looking to do something with our good friend Pops in the near future. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Thank you guys. Thank you, chat, for being here. We will see you guys next week. And until then, toodles.
And stream.